Hi, all. Kinsey Schofield here, and it is 1 o'clock in the morning. This is the night of Order of the Garter. I am going to wipe my face off and go to sleep after this, after I have this chat with you. But I'm getting ready to go home soon, so I thought we should like what do you call it? I don't know. I'm too tired. What do they call it? I don't want to say purge. This is horrible. I don't want to say unload either, but we should have a chat about my week because it's been without a doubt the best trip. My favorite trip. Well, yeah, I think it's my favorite trip to London. I I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but one of the last times I went there, uh, I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm tired and I'm sleep deprived. I haven't slept right in a week. One of the last times I went out there, it was actually for the Duke of Kent's birthday party, and I got to go to Windsor Castle, and it was a private party with the family. So, did this trip top that? Yeah, it kind of did. Yeah, I mean, I got in on Monday. I want to say I stayed at the Taj, and I stayed there because it was right by Buckingham Palace, and I had several events at Buckingham Palace this week or this last week, and they had this teddy bear waiting for me in my room. And I'm not kidding you when I tell you I've missed my dogs. I have snuggled as an adult. I have snuggled with this teddy bear for a week. It has the cutest face, and he has just been I've named him Biggly Bear. He has been such a good companion throughout the last week. So I got in on Monday. Tuesday, I'm having to look at my schedule because I'm having to look at my phone to check my schedule because it's been such a whirlwind. It's been such a blessing, but a chaotic trip. My girlfriend Miranda took me to Buckingham Palace, and we got to watch the presentation of the two new colors. To the 1st Battalion Grenadier Guards. And this was the king and the queen there. Now, like we say we're presenting the colors, but it means flag. And back in the day, these were flags that they would use in battle. But today, it just really translates to showing respect for the king, showing your dedication to the monarchy, and it was incredibly beautiful. The choreography, of course, of the Grenadier Guards was gorgeous, and they are their own. Oh, they're their own. They're a family, and guess what? They said I'm in their family now. So I feel very, very included and exclusive. So that was a beautiful day at Buckingham Palace in the gardens, and it rained a little bit on our way there. And then we got there. I did meet Queen Camilla at this event, and I curtsied, and she asked if I enjoyed myself, and I said, I'm enjoying meeting you. But she was so exquisite and beautiful up close, and I was just very smitten with her. King Charles also looking very healthy and happy to be there. So then I'm literally going to have to look at my phone to see what my schedule. It's been so chaotic. It's been great, but you know what? When people say that the Royals work really hard, I think sometimes we're like, do they? Like they have an amazing job where they go to beautiful places and they eat beautiful expensive meals and they shake hands with important people. I didn't do any of that this week. Like I just was Kinsey, a nobody, and I'm exhausted. So yes, the Royals work very hard. I cannot imagine keeping up with this schedule. Okay, so then the next day, yes, the next day I went in and I saw Matt Wilkinson. I recorded The Sun. Um, I feel like I did something else that day. God knows. God only knows what I've been up to. The day after that, I did some Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered recording with some of your favorite personalities, and that was a blast. And I think you've probably seen some, if not all, of those interviews have come out by now. Oh, I saw my friend Jeremy Kyle. Funny story. Today at St. George's Chapel, a woman stopped me, Virginia, I believe her name was, and said, "I love watching you with Jeremy Kyle." And that made my day. I was so tickled by that. And then I immediately texted Jeremy Kyle and said, "I met one of your fans today at St. George's Chapel." So then on Friday, I had such a great day on Friday. Thursday, I did my interviews. Friday, the Royal Collection Trust invited me to see, oh, you know this because we talked about it on the channel Monday, to see Queen Elizabeth, her style exhibition. And that was just very emotional, very compelling. Obviously, I wanted to share that with you. I was so excited about it. I left her, I left Buckingham Palace to go to the National Portrait Gallery because I'd also purchased tickets to the Marilyn Monroe exhibit at the National Portrait Gallery. And I can share some of those pictures with you here. That was a blast. And on top of the gorgeous Marilyn Monroe gallery that they have set up within the National Portrait Gallery, I saw multiple gorgeous royal portraits. There's this brand new one that I'd never seen at the National Portrait Gallery or in real life before, a huge one of young Prince William, young Prince Harry, the Queen Mother. It's so fun. I always stop and say thank you to the Princess Diana portrait there because Princess Diana brought so many opportunities into my life. My love for Diana is the reason why I have the life I have today. And I always stop and like get emotional at that portrait of Diana at the National Portrait Gallery and say thank you. There's a beautiful portrait of Catherine, the Princess of Wales there, the King and Queen. Wallace Simpson. There's a portrait I love of Wallace Simpson. So the National Portrait Gallery is always, I will always advise that you spend some time there because you can spend a lot of time there. And it's just beautiful and breathtaking. I also knew, and I want to say it's called the Iconic Gallery, of another Marilyn Monroe exhibit that was happening in London, and that was about a 10-minute walk away from the National Portrait Gallery, and I believe it's at the Iconic Gallery. And so I walked over there and saw some more Marilyn Monroe art and photographs, and then I stumbled upon a Tudors gallery, which was, you know, fun. I was like, yeah, fine. I'll take in some more art. So that was Friday. And then Saturday was trooping, and trooping was so enchanting. I was with my friend Miranda again. I was with my friend Rupert Bell. I'm sure you're familiar with him. That wild man. Andrew Loney was there. Matt Wilkinson was there. And we had incredible seats right by the King, Queen, and we were on the side of the Princess of Wales. I kept trying to look over at Prince William, but that hat is pretty heavy. He seemed like he had to be in a very specific mental headspace to tolerate the heat and the hat and being on the horse for such a significant amount of time. So trooping was gorgeous. And as it wrapped, I went down and met Matt, and then Matt and I walked to the mall. And I know I feel like the mall. I feel like I just said it wrong, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so whatever. And we waited for the balcony, and that was very fun to spend that time with him. And then I thought that the balcony looked great. I mean, I caught some moments with King Charles and Prince William laughing together. Of course, Louis is just adorable. Prince George is becoming so sweet, so handsome, as tall as his mother. So that's always so fun to see. I did ask Hugo Vickers why the Duke of Kent was like way off to the side, and Hugo had no idea. But I am investigating that for us all. And then after that, I went to a picnic with the Grenadier Guards, swoon, where I had a blast. with all of these handsome men in uniform, and my friends, Rupert Bell and Trelawney, were there as well. And we were, you know, gossiping as we do about all the things that we'd seen that day. Um, then Saturday night, I went over, I packed up my stuff, came out to Windsor. I went to church with King Charles on Sunday. Um, I've talked about how special that experience is, singing the same hymns, saying the same prayers, singing God Save the King in his presence, y- you know, literally feet away from him. It's unbelievable. And not to get too heavy, but like we talk all the time about how we don't feel like Harry and Meghan have an anchor. And seeing the king in the middle of that anchor, like seeing the king worshiping, um, was incredible, is incredible. It's one of the highlights of this entire experience, covering the royal family, investing in the royal family emotionally. Like it just is such a huge blessing. It's incredible. And then Monday, today, yesterday, kind of because it's 1 o'clock in the morning now, it's 1:15 a.m. Um, was Order of the Garter, and I went to the Ivy first with Miranda, and that was delicious. And then we got in line at Windsor Castle. We got our seats inside the church. I sat with my friend Cindy. I got to see my friend Hugo Vickers, who was working. Um, Andrew Lloyd Webber passes, and I'm like, what? And then t Tony Blair passes, and I'm like, excuse? And as I'm like trying to process this, then walks in Prince William, and he hasn't shaved his face in a while. And I'm personally okay with this, okay? Uh, he looked a little warm. He looked like he was relieved to be going inside. Um, so unbelievably tall. Like the man is a statue. There were, I mean, Prince Edward was there too. The Princess Royal was there. Everyone was there, but I was so smitten when Prince William walked in. The king was in such good spirits when he walked in as well. Queen Camilla looked stunning. Uh, Again, I cannot stress, like, I am exhausted, and this is their schedule all the time, like times 10 of what I just told you I did. So the service was beautiful. We sang some hymns, we said some prayers, no pictures allowed inside the church. And so I couldn't document it. As they were leaving, Prince William actually did look in my direction. No, I don't know. I don't know what that means anything. I don't know if that means anything. But he looked over at us, so I was like, and then I watched him walk out and leave, and I was like, as he left, so did my heart. My heart was exiting as well. And then I kind of like look over just to see what's next, and it was Catherine. And Catherine had not entered with him that way, so I did not expect her to see her exiting with him that way. And I probably audibly gasped. I apologize if that was an inappropriate in the church, but there was it was like, oh my gosh, she looked so beautiful, petite, long, perfect, beautiful hair, gorgeous dress, no wrinkles, just perfectly tailored, smiling. I met a woman from Fort Worth who was inside the church too, and she told me that when Catherine looked in her direction, she said, I waved. I probably shouldn't have, but I just I could not acknowledge her. And so she said, I went, and she said, Catherine smiled at her. I was like, of course she did. She's so sweet. And then after Garter, I went to a very special dinner with American patrons of St. George's. And they are a very important organization that raises money for St. George's Chapel because I might have had this conversation with you last year, but I think we assume that because St. George's Chapel is within Windsor, that the king pays for updates when it comes to needs for the church, whether it's a new sound system or a new roof. I think, yeah, we assume that it's like taken care of by the royal family or, you know, who anybody, the government, anything. But the reality is they have to do fundraising on their own. And um, American patrons of St. George's actually, their primary function is to help raise money for the church. And it started out with American descendants of Knights of the Garter. But now it's descendants, but it's also just people that love the royal family that are Americans. And yeah, their main objective is to help maintain that building, which I think is a very worthy cause, right? So we had a stellar dinner and an auction. Spoke to the King's Dean. He is the sweetest. I absolutely adore him. And I told him how much I loved his service on Sunday and how much I appreciated it. He brought up like how we need to take better care of the environment, which was a perfect sermon, right, for King Charles, who was there. I'm sure he appreciated it, but I appreciated it too because he was talking about the oceans and how important the oceans are to us. And I love the ocean. I love whales. I love dolphins. That's my jam. So that was fun to spend some time with him. He respects the king immensely and is so kind when he discusses the king and what what type of job he's been doing. He really thinks that the king's been doing a great job, as do I. So what a whirlwind. So basically tomorrow, not really, I'm already in tomorrow, but after I wake up, I have to spend a significant amount of time figuring out how to get all my fascinators back in my suitcase. I have so many fascinators. I have so many hats. I have so many outfits. I'm not going to ask it. I know some of you were saying you got to go to ask it. I don't love ask it.
Hey everyone, Kinsey Schofield here, and I want to tell you about today's sponsor. It's a total game changer, Peak's Liver Detox Protocol. You may not know it, but your liver handles a lot: energy, hormones, digestion, and even your mood. But with all the stress and toxins from everyday life, it needs some love. Forget harsh cleanses. Peak delivers gentle daily support inspired by traditional Chinese medicine. Their routine uses two simple blends. The first is a warming turmeric mix with cinnamon and black pepper, designed to help the body absorb it better and support the liver while calming inflammation. The second is a ginger and cinnamon blend that helps with blood flow, digestion, bloating, and immune support. The magic is how they work together to activate and flush for better digestion, stable energy, less brain fog, and that light, clear feeling. My energy is consistent, my skin is clear, and less bloating. That's peak where spirit meets science. Redefine your standard of health, secure 20% off your order, and begin your intentional wellness journey today at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. Thanks so much.
Maybe I need to give it another go. Maybe I just need to try it again, but I had some friends that were going that aren't going anymore, and I I would go for them, but they're not here. So yes, I'm talking about Adrian and Whitney. They're no longer going to be there. So I have no desire to go without them, and I miss my dogs. And I have to introduce them to the newest member of our family. By the way, I stayed across the street from the American patrons of St. George's, where we had our dinner, is the building where King Charles, as Prince Charles, married Queen Camilla. when she was just Camilla Parker Bowles. And I stayed in the hotel directly across from it, and I put my little teddy bear in the window before I went over there. And I took pictures of my teddy bear looking at me across the street in my hotel room because I'm an adult who hasn't slept in 7 or 8 days. Wow. Did you feel like you were here with me? Did you enjoy that recap? I enjoyed telling you. And you know what? I do need to keep a diary because my life is unreal. My life, 4 feet from Prince William today. I could have counted his stubble hair. I met Queen Camilla this week. This is a horrible thing to say, but I've spent more time with King Charles this week than Prince Harry has in the last 6 years. But it's facts. That's facts. How many times did I saw him? I saw him Tuesday. I saw him Saturday. I saw him Sunday. I saw him Monday. That's a lot of time I just spent with King Charles. So I wanted to share that with you, but I do need to keep a journal. I do need to start documenting my life because it's unbelievable. I am a lucky girl. All right, agree with me, disagree with me on anything I said, I guess. Make sure you let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for following my journey. I'm able to do a lot of these things because you've been with me throughout the years, and I really appreciate that. So thank you for your support and um, count down to our next London trip, which is not too far away because a certain redhead is headed in this direction. And we want to bring you the latest. So I look forward to seeing you so soon. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.